Hi friends, this is Chris. Welcome back to the channel. So I want to continue our discussion from the last video. And if you saw, it was lifestyles and habits of rich versus poor. And it generated quite a lot of comments and heated conversation, which I think is a good thing because it essentially means you're passionate about this and you want to talk about it. And I want to continue this conversation by bringing in wealth into the conversation. The reason why we're doing this is because some people wrote in the comments, hey, I know poor people and they're perfectly happy, or I know rich people and they're really unhappy. And I want to talk about wealth because I think this will make sense as we go through it. Essentially, there's some interesting ideas from this guy named Grant Sabateur, and he has his different levels of wealth, which we're going to go over right now. So the first one is dependence. And the basic idea is that you do not have enough money to take care of yourself, right? So you could be a kid under 18, you could be a college student, still depending on your parents, or you could just be starting out and frankly, your job doesn't pay enough, so you got to have roommates, these kind of things. But the basic idea is that you do not make enough money to care for yourself because, food's expensive, rent's expensive, etc. And for a lot of people who are younger, you're probably in this boat and you might be watching this channel thinking, oh my God, how can I get this next level? I'm so tired of depending on other people. And we're going to talk about the next level. So the next level is survival. And the basic gist of it is that, okay, you moved out, no more roommates, no living with the parents, nothing like that. No one's giving you money. You're doing okay, but it's just okay. You're just surviving. And the idea is basically you're living paycheck to paycheck. So you make enough money to pay for your bills, but at the end of the month, you pretty much have nothing left. And if you miss a paycheck, right, or something happens to you, you could be in real trouble. And in fact, most of Americans are in this situation. I was just looking at some numbers here, and about 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, which is now a majority, and a lot of this is due to inflation. And so that's why we talk about so much on inflation on this channel, because it affects all of us and affects a lot of people, the majority of Americans. Moreover, which is even more crazy, even if you make over 100,000, you can still be prone to living paycheck to paycheck. Even if you make millions, you could be theoretically, because why? You spend all of your money every month. And sometimes it's by choice, sometimes it's by necessity, right? But either way, you're living paycheck to paycheck. And something that I want to emphasize and stress so much on this channel is live below your means. So yes, you get a raise, yes, you may get a bonus, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to spend all of your money all the time. Now, that's certainly because of wants and lifestyle, because you want to get that nice car, you want to get new clothes, these kind of things. But for some people, just the way that it is, that your salary doesn't seem to keep up with living expenses, right? Because again, with inflation, be it food, energy, etc., these keep going up in price and you're just not getting paid enough. And so that's why this year we've seen record numbers of people going on strike, basically asking for more money because they're sick and tired of living paycheck to paycheck. And unfortunately, that is the majority of Americans. Moving on to the next level is stability. The basic idea here is you actually have enough money to pay your bills and you have a little bit of money to save each month. So unlike the surviving where you're just barely making it, with stability, you can weather an emergency. So essentially you have 6-month emergency fund. If something happens to your job, be it like, business slows down, you're not getting any orders, they got to lay you off, or frankly, you don't like your job and you want to change, you can do that, right? You have the freedom to do that. You have this sort of nest egg, is 6 months, but it gives you some breathing room, right? So you're not stressed out all the time. And one of the things that I've shared with you guys so many times on this channel, especially if you turn around YouTube, there's a lot of stressed out people out there because basically they stress themselves too thin. And so that's why I told you before with the other level, and the same with this level, live below your means, right? So you can save money. You have a cushion at the end of every month. You can save, you can invest, and you want to get that 6-month sort of buffer so you're going to be okay. And then, which brings us to our next level, which is security. And the basic gist of it is you have a regular income coming in, you're paying off all your debts, or you are completely debt free. And now you're saving even more and looking at investing even more heavily, because essentially you want to plan for your retirement, because you don't want to work forever. You don't want to have to talk to your boss forever. You want to live on the beach somewhere, these kind of things. And basically you're watching my channel, you're watching financial news, these kind of things, because you're starting to pay attention to this stuff because you want to be smart with your money and you want to make the right decisions. Sadly, though, 56% of Americans say they are not on track for retirement. And when you put that with the other number that we talked about before, that 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, just makes me realize that it's very important to put out financial content for you guys. So I try my best every day. Moreover, I like it that we have a community to support each other. And moreover, we're not selling any scamming classes here, nothing like that. Just trying to offer some good advice and get your mind on the right things. Which brings us to the next level, which is independence. And you'll hear this talked about a lot on YouTube, because essentially this is the goal of everyone, to where you don't have to work ever again. And essentially is you're living off your investments, right? Your investments, your assets produce enough cash flow to pay for your day-to-day expenses, and you never have to go in that office. You don't have to put up with that crazy boss. You don't have to do anything because you are completely independent, and all your money in your investments and assets take care of your living expenses. And the next level is freedom. And the basic idea is, just like independence, you're living off your assets, except you're doing so in luxury. So if you want to buy that new Lambo, you can totally do it. If you want to get that helicopter, go for it. If you want to get that beach house, get it. If you want to get that mountain house, get it. If you want to go to Paris, go there. If you want to go to Tokyo, go there. If you want to go to Sydney, hey, go there. You get the idea. So essentially, price doesn't matter anymore, and you can do what you want, go where you want, live where you want, all of these kind of things, and you are totally free. Which then leads us to a last level, which is abundance. And essentially, when you get to this level, these kind of people, you start giving a lot of money to charity, you start setting up foundations, funds, these kind of things. Maybe you want to cure cancer, so you start throwing your money at that. Or maybe you want to buy and sell sports teams or buy and sell companies. Essentially, you have a lot of money and you start thinking about, okay, what is my legacy for the world? And very few people get to this level. However, it's not impossible. And I like to sort of describe all these levels so you have a general sense of like, okay, this is sort of where I am, this is where I'm going, and this is where I want to be in the future. So I hope this discussion is useful and helpful for you. And essentially, as we go through all these levels, and you can watch the video again, ask yourself, okay, where am I now? Where am I going to be next year? Where am I going to be in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? And start really planning out your financial future. Now, I know it's popular on YouTube to say, hey, passive income, financial freedom, you're going to get there tomorrow, but it's not going to be that fast, chances are. And essentially what you need to do is have good planning, good discipline, and understand that this is a multifaceted approach, right? One, you want to keep your spending in check. Two, you want to raise your income, obviously. Three, you want to save. Four, you want to invest. And five, I would say you want to keep coming back to this channel. And I hope that we provide good inspiration and community for you, because I want to have positive discussions about money and be open about these kind of things. So I do appreciate your time. I'd love to hear your thoughts on any one of these things, and I'll catch you next video.